Hello, my chicklets. I hope this new year has been treating you well so far. Remember to be kind to yourself when it comes to your New Year's resolutions. And if you need help for any resolutions that are creativity-based, such as improving your writing or your art or anything like that, remember to check out my Discord. We've got a great community of people who are willing to help one another. Today's story is called Becoming the Nightmare. I hope you enjoy it. So, are you gonna tell him? Remus asked, hanging upside down, legs hooked on one of Virgil's spiderwebs that he had intentionally made strong enough to bear his weight. Okay, so maybe it wasn't actually Virgil's spiderweb. Maybe it was one Remus had made so that he could pretend to be a spider's prey. It was fun playing the victim sometimes, but only if he was playing. Remus didn't actually like being the victim. It was far too boring. What good would it do? Your brother is more stubborn than you are, and that's saying a lot. The two of them were relaxing in Virgil's room, as best friends would do. Most of the time, they would choose one of their rooms to relax in. On rare occasions, they would break into Janice's room and force him to join them. Sure, they could use the common area, but there was something nice about the comfortability of their own space. You aren't wrong, but I'm also offended that you think I'm less stubborn than him. Virgil snorted, tossing one of his pillows at Remus. Look, you accepted a long time ago that half of your best creations actually come from my fears. That by taking what freaks me out and mixing it into your handiwork, you're able to do so much more. Not only did you accept it, but you basically came to the conclusion on your own. Your brother has his head so far up his own ass that he can't see that half of what he creates are escapes and fanciful reasonings to get out of my thoughts. Virgil shrugged. I think it's fair to call your brother the most stubborn one. Or at least the dumbest one. Dumb, I will accept. But stubborn? I'm gonna make you eat those words one day. Virgil tilted his head and then snorted with laughter, leaving a very confused Remus to throw a pillow at him. Though this pillow made uncomfortably squishy noises as Virgil caught it. He didn't want to know what exactly Remus had replaced the stuffing with. Sorry, you know the nerd is super literal? Yeah, Remus answered skeptically. What if we made him a bowl of word soup, or made him eat his words printed out on a piece of paper? This time Remus snorted, shaking his head. Do you know how much trouble old Pops would try to put us in if we did something like that? We'd probably end up with another parent fight, which might at least be interesting. Yeah, I know. Virgil didn't want there to be another fight. Things were already pretty strained, and adding another fight between Janice and Patton wasn't a great idea, especially if Virgil ever wanted there to be a union again. Virgil missed the others. He missed Logan, he kinda missed Patton, and he missed Roman. Sure, he was antagonistic, but that didn't mean he didn't care about the others. But you have to agree that imagery is kind of funny. Remus nodded, finally coming down from the web, skittering his way over to Virgil. It is pretty funny. What other idioms do you think we could exploit? He didn't want to hurt Logan, but the thought of getting him to fall for stupid idioms was a funny one. Virgil curled up on his bed, watching Remus wave his arms excitedly. After he began to run out of the last of his energy, Remus crawled onto Virgil's bed, flopping onto him like someone using a beanbag chair. Per se, I think burning bridges might actually be a fun one. We could set it up in the imagination. Remus yawned, and Virgil began to gently pat the chaotic side's hair, smiling softly and shaking his head lightly. That sounds great, Ree. Virgil whispered. We can do it later. Sounds like it's time for you to recharge. Like a robot. Do you think that Logan is a robot? He asked, yawning again and clawing his nails into Virgil's shoulder like a cat. Later. Virgil promised again. He didn't know that later would never come. He didn't know that the friendship he valued so much would become fragile as he tried to piece everyone together. Virgil did something that he knew he would regret for the rest of his life. He left Remus behind the same way that Roman had, turning away and never coming back. Each step he took that brought him closer to the others was a step that took him away from Remus. And every day Remus had to watch as his best friend slipped over to hang out and be with the brother who had left Remus behind. You know, Remus said to Janice, body half melted over the side of the couch. I knew one day he would leave us. I just didn't expect it to hurt so much. He looked at the empty space in Janice's room where Virgil used to sit. I kind of figured I would just get over it, but he left a fucking big wound. I know, Remus, Janice whispered, flexing the fingers in his gloves. He knew how much it hurt. He was experiencing the same pain, watching as the side he had raised walked away from him. You aren't gonna leave me, Janny, right? He asked. Of course not, Janice answered, and Remus wished he had never believed Janice. He wished he hadn't believed in either of them, because they were both liars. You once told me that my nightmares came from you, little spider, Remus muttered as darkness filled the room and ink-black tentacles sprang from his back. But I think it might actually be my turn to make the nightmares, to become the thing you always thought I was. Remus cackled, but it was dark and sinister. He destroyed the dark side, merging it with his side of the imagination. He had been left behind, so he had every intention of taking over. Thank you all for listening. Again, this was Becoming the Nightmare. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.